Welcome back to Life Unfiltered. You know, the show where we talk about things that can really shift your perspective.
Yeah, I love it.
Today we're talking about a concept that, might seem a little unusual, especially in today's world.
Yeah.
The world that says, stand out and be loud,
Yeah, you got to be seen.
be seen.
Uh-huh.
We're talking about the art of being a gray man.
Interesting.
Before you go thinking, I'm talking about someone who's literally painted gray.
Right.
Let me clarify.
Yeah.
It's about intentionally blending in,
Mm-hmm.
moving through life,
Yeah.
without drawing unnecessary attention to yourself.
It's an interesting concept, especially in a world that's, like you were saying, constantly pressuring us to stand out, be louder, be more visible.
Oh, yeah.
The gray man kind of takes a different approach.
Right.
They understand the power of not being noticed, of observing without being the center of attention.
Right.
It's about control, choosing how and when you want to be seen.
I love that, choosing how and when you want to be seen. Like, you almost become this chameleon adapting to different environments and situations.
Right.
But it's not about losing yourself in that, is it?
No, it's not about erasing your personality or becoming someone you're not.
Right.
It's about having the awareness and the tools to, like, control how you project yourself to the world.
Right.
Think of it this way.
Okay.
You're not trying to disappear. You're choosing when and how to appear.
Okay, so let's break this down a little bit.
Yeah.
What are some of the key elements of being a gray man?
Okay.
I imagine wardrobe plays a pretty big role.
Absolutely. And, this is where I think understanding a little bit about how our brains work comes in handy.
Okay.
Our brains are constantly scanning for patterns, for things that stand out,
Yeah.
bright colors, flashy logos, anything unusual.
Right.
Those things grab our attention.
Yeah.
So the gray man kind of uses this to their advantage.
So by blending in.
Precisely.
Okay.
Neutral colors, simple designs, clothing that doesn't scream, look at me.
Right.
It all works to kind of disrupt that pattern recognition.
Yeah.
You become less memorable, less likely to stick out in a crowd.
It's funny you mentioned that because I recently did a complete wardrobe overhaul.
Oh, really?
I used to be all about bold colors and statement pieces.
Oh, wow.
But lately I've been really gravitating towards those more muted tones and classic cuts.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what? I actually feel so much more at ease.
Yeah.
Less self-conscious.
Yeah.
It's like my clothes aren't competing for attention anymore.
That's a great example
That's
of
the
how, subtle changes can make a big difference.
Right.
You're not trying to erase your style.
Right.
You're simply choosing clothing that doesn't make you a target for unwanted attention.
So it's not just about the clothes, it's about the effect they have on how we're perceived.
Exactly. And this extends to our behavior as well.
Okay.
How we move, how we speak, even our facial expressions all play a role.
Okay, so give us some tips.
Okay.
How does a gray man navigate a social situation?
All right.
What should we be paying attention to?
It all starts with self-awareness,
Mm-hmm.
Pay attention to your body language. Are you fidgeting, making excessive eye contact, speaking too loudly? These are all things that can draw attention to yourself.
Oh, I'm a champion fidgeter, especially when I'm nervous.
Yeah.
I'm always tapping my foot or playing with my hair.
Yeah.
It's like my body has a mind of its own.
We all have those little quirks.
Right?
But with practice, you can become more aware of them
Right.
and start to control them.
Right.
The key is to cultivate a sense of calm and composure.
Okay.
Move with purpose. Maintain a relaxed posture. Make eye contact that feels natural, not intrusive.
It's almost like you're lowering your volume,
Yeah.
not just in how loudly you speak, but in your overall presence.
Exactly. You're blending into the background noise of life,
Right.
not becoming the main attraction.
Okay, I'm starting to see how this all ties together.
Yeah.
It's about being deliberate in how we present ourselves, both physically and behaviorally.
And being present and aware of our surroundings.
Okay.
Right?
Which brings us to another key element of the gray man, situational awareness.
Ah, yes.
Yeah.
This is where it starts to sound a bit more, I don't know, spy-like.
Yeah, I can see how you might think that.
Yeah.
But it's really not about being paranoid or suspicious.
Oh,
It's simply about developing a heightened awareness of your environment.
right.
Think of it as having your senses tuned in to what's happening around you.
So what does that look like in practice?
It can be as simple as noticing the exits when you enter a room,
Okay.
or paying attention to the flow of foot traffic on a busy street,
Right.
observing people's body language, noticing anything that seems out of place.
Okay. I'm starting to get it, but doesn't that require a lot of mental energy?
It can feel that way at first,
Right.
but like any skill, it
Yeah.
becomes more natural with practice.
All right.
And here's the thing, it's not about being on high alert all the time.
Right.
It's about cultivating this subtle awareness
Yeah.
that becomes part of your everyday life.
So instead of walking through the world with blinders on.
We're taking in the whole picture, but without making it a big dramatic thing.
Exactly. And that awareness can be incredibly empowering.
Right.
It allows you to anticipate potential risks, to make informed decisions,
Yeah.
navigate challenging situations with more confidence.
I can see how that would be valuable,
Yeah.
not just in, extreme situations,
Yeah.
but in everyday life as well.
Absolutely. Think about it.
Yeah.
If you're aware of your surroundings, you're less likely to be surprised by unexpected events.
Right.
You're more likely to notice potential dangers before they become a problem.
Right.
And that can make a huge difference in how you feel about your safety and security.
This is all starting to make so much sense.
Good.
But I have a question. How do we know when to blend in and when to, well, not blend in?
Mm-hmm.
Are there times when being a gray man isn't the best approach?
That's a great question.
Yeah.
And the answer is, it depends.
Okay.
There are certainly times when it's appropriate to stand out, to express yourself fully,
Yeah.
to be the center of attention.
Okay.
But the gray man understands that those choices should be deliberate, not accidental.
So it's about having the awareness to choose your approach.
Right.
Rather than just reacting to whatever situation you find yourself in.
Exactly. It's about having the control to say, I choose to blend in here, or I choose to stand out there.
Right.
It's about owning your presence in the world.
I'm loving this.
Yeah.
It's like we're unlocking this secret level of self-awareness and control.
And that's really what the gray man is all about.
Right.
Empowering yourself to navigate life on your own terms.
This is so fascinating.
Yeah, it is.
We've covered wardrobe behavior,
Mm.
situational awareness,
Mm,
all crucial elements of the gray man.
absolutely.
But there's so much more to explore.
Yeah.
We're back and still thinking about the gray man.
Yeah.
Before the break, we were talking about situational awareness.
Yeah.
And I got to admit, I'm already starting to see the world a little differently. Like I'm actually noticing things I never paid attention to before.
Right.
Exit signs, people's body language,
Right.
even the way traffic flows.
That's great. It's amazing how simply shifting our focus can reveal so much about our surroundings.
Right.
And that heightened awareness, is a key element of personal security.
Absolutely. It's like having this extra layer of protection.
Yeah.
A sense of being prepared for whatever might come your way.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of preparedness,
Yeah.
I think this is a good time to talk about the infamous go bag.
Okay.
I mean, it's practically a gray man, essential, right?
You could certainly say that. But you mentioned a go bag mishap before the break.
I did.
What happened?
Oh, gosh. It's a little embarrassing, but I'll share. I was so proud of myself for putting together this super comprehensive go bag, water flashlight, first aid kit, the works.
Yeah.
But in my rush to get out the door one day, I completely forgot to grab my house keys.
Oh, no.
So there I was, standing in the pouring rain, go bag in hand,
Whoa.
but utterly locked out of my own home.
Oh, the irony.
I know.
It highlights an important point, though. Preparedness isn't just about having the right gear.
Right.
It's about having that mental clarity
Right.
to think things through.
Right.
Sometimes the most obvious things, like your house keys,
Yeah.
are the easiest to overlook.
It was a valuable lesson, for sure.
Good.
Now, I double even triple check everything before I head out.
Yeah.
But back to the go bag. For those who are new to the concept,
Yeah.
what are some must-have items?
Well, the specifics will vary depending on, your individual needs and circumstances.
Right.
But some essentials would be like water, non-perishable food items, a first aid kit flashlight, a multi-tool, some cash.
Hmm.
And it's also a good idea to have a copy of important documents like your driver's license and insurance information.
And it doesn't have to be this big bulky thing, right?
Not at all. There are plenty of compact and discreet go bags available. You can even use a small backpack or a messenger bag that blends in with your everyday style.
So we've covered physical preparedness.
Hmm.
But what about digital preparedness?
Right.
In today's hyper-connected world, being a gray man isn't just about navigating the physical realm, is it?
You're absolutely right. In many ways, our digital footprint is more revealing than our physical presence.
Right.
And just as we take steps to protect our physical safety and privacy, we need to be equally vigilant about our digital security.
So where do we start?
The first step is awareness.
Okay.
Take a moment to think about all the ways you're sharing information online.
Mm.
Social media profiles, online shopping accounts, loyalty programs. It's all data that can be collected and used in ways we might not even be aware of.
It's a bit overwhelming when you think about it.
Hmm.
Like, do we really need to create a fake persona and go completely off the grid?
That's certainly one approach, but it's not always practical or necessary for most people.
Right.
The key is to find a balance between staying connected
Right.
and protecting your privacy.
So what are some practical steps we can take?
Start by reviewing the privacy settings on your social media accounts. Be mindful of what information you're sharing publicly. Consider using a VPN to encrypt your internet traffic.
Mm-hmm.
And be cautious about clicking on links or downloading attachments from unknown sources.
I've always been a bit lax about my digital privacy,
Yeah.
but this conversation is really making me rethink my approach. It's like we're living in this invisible web,
Mm-hmm.
and we need to be aware of the threads we're leaving behind.
That's a great analogy.
Really?
And just as we wouldn't leave our house unlocked or share our personal information with strangers,
Right.
we need to be mindful of how we're protecting ourselves in the digital realm.
Okay, so we've talked about wardrobe behavior, situational awareness, physical preparedness, and digital privacy.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else we need to consider when embracing this gray man concept?
Well, all of these elements kind of tie into this broader theme of adaptability.
Okay,
The gray man is not rigid or fixed in their ways.
right.
They're able to assess a situation and adjust their approach accordingly.
So it's not just about blending in, it's about being able to navigate different environments and situations with ease.
Exactly. And that adaptability comes from a place of mental flexibility,
Right.
from being able to let go of preconceived notions and respond to the moment.
I used to think that being adaptable meant being wishy-washy or lacking conviction,
Yeah.
but now I see it as a strength, as a way of being open to new possibilities
Mm.
and navigating change with grace.
It's a powerful mindset to cultivate, especially in a world that's constantly shifting and evolving.
Yeah.
And it's a key element of the gray man philosophy.
It strikes me that adaptability
Yeah,
is something we can all benefit from,
right.
regardless of whether we're fully embracing the gray man concept or not.
Mm-hmm.
It's just such a valuable life skill.
Absolutely. Being able to adjust to unexpected circumstances,
Yeah.
to embrace change, to pivot when necessary.
Right.
Those are all qualities that can help us thrive.
Right. In any area of life.
Exactly.
When I first started learning about the gray man,
Huh.
I had some misconceptions. I thought it was all about being invisible,
Right.
about suppressing your personality,
Yeah.
about basically becoming a wallflower.
It's a common misunderstanding.
Yeah.
But as we've been discussing, it's really about the opposite.
Okay.
It's about empowerment.
Okay.
It's about having the awareness and the tools to choose how you want to interact with the world.
It's about having the control to say, I choose to blend in here,
Right.
or I choose to stand out there.
Exactly.
Right.
It's about being intentional, deliberate, and in control of your own presence.
Right, and that can be incredibly liberating.
It is.
Because when you think about it, so much of our lives is spent reacting to these external pressures.
Mm-hmm.
To be a certain way, to look a certain way, to achieve certain things.
Right.
But the gray man concept gives us permission to step back from all that
Yeah.
and define our own terms.
It's about recognizing that true strength doesn't come from seeking external validation.
Yeah.
It comes from within. It comes from knowing yourself,
Mm-hmm.
understanding your values, and living in alignment with those values.
And that's something we can all aspire to,
Right.
regardless of our individual circumstances.
Exactly. The gray man concept provides a framework, a set of tools, a way of thinking that can empower us to live more intentionally, more authentically, and more securely.
So for anyone listening who's maybe intrigued by this idea,
Yeah.
who's feeling a little overwhelmed by the noise and the pressure of modern life,
Mm-hmm.
I encourage you to explore the gray man concept further.
Yeah.
You might be surprised at what you discover about yourself and the world around you.
It's a journey of self-discovery, and it can lead to a greater sense of peace, confidence, and freedom.
And that's what Life Unfiltered is all about.
Right.
Exploring ideas that challenge our assumptions,
Yeah,
expand our perspectives, and help us live more fulfilling lives.
absolutely.
Thank you for joining us on this deep dive into the world of the gray man.
Yeah, this was fun.
We hope you found it insightful and empowering. Until next time, stay curious, stay aware, and stay true to yourselves.
See you later.